Benji, maybe this is going to be on you, like a post
a post edit.
Post edit where we're going to react. Whoa, India were amazing. Hello and welcome back to the Cricket Nerds podcast. Slightly different settings. Me and Zach are together. Thank you so much for all the support. The channel's grown by like another
over 100 subscribers.
It's been the last video did insanely well. So thank you very much. Welcome to all you new cricket nerds. There'll be a lot of content coming. The only reason we haven't posted for ages has been kind of logistical issues because at the moment both me and Zach are in Africa. So yeah, that's something. But we've always kept on top of the cricket because we love it. And the series we're going to talk about first is West Indies versus India. And it's been a very good series so far. So as we speak, the second ODI is happening, but it's been delayed because of rain. So, if that ends up carrying on, then this video will kind of be a bit out of date, but don't tune out because we've got good things to say about the first ODI, which is what we'll talk about first. Shikha. It's good to see a Punjab King guy do well. And yeah, Shikha Dhawan as captain, it's something that feels right. Benji, what did you think of Shikha D's innings?
It's pretty special, wasn't it? Like, it's a good way to start your tour as a captain, I suppose. 97 out of 99 really set the tone, and it really, allowed India to have like a platform to really build off. It was massively important for them, I think. And I think they just that ODI squad just looks, even though it's a very different ODI squad to the one that was in England, it's still, they're so strong. And it just shows how much of a good squad depth India have. Shikha Dhawan, he did set the tone with that innings, but I think he was ably supported by the rest of that top order. Have you got any comments sort of about Shubman Gill, Shreyas Iyer, how they got on?
Well, they started off the innings really well, and they got India to a position of 213 for 2, I think it was, when Shikha Dhawan got out. And he was trying to get to his 100. He almost did, but it was an excellent catch by Shamal Brooks to get him out. Shubman Gill, he's shown a lot of promise for a long time without being the best player, if you see what I mean. Like Virat Kohli, from a young age, everyone's like, he's going to be a great player. Saying similar things about Shubman Gill, and then Kohli ended up being this great player, whereas Shubman Gill hasn't quite hit that. But I think the innings in this latest match has shown the potential he's got to be an awesome one of the great players for India. So hopefully his run will continue. And Shreyas Iyer, we know he's got issues against the short ball. We saw that in England. So we'll just see if he's managing to correct that. But then they kind of threw it away a bit, because the last 15 overs or so, when you're on 250, as India were about, so you'd expect them to push on and get a massive score of 350 plus, especially given you've got Surya Kumar Yadav coming in, then Sanjus coming in, then Deepak Hooda, and even Axar Patel and Shardul Thakur. We know how good they are. And they just kind of didn't really impress as much as their name suggests. Now, James, we've talked a lot on this podcast, especially in the IPL. Go watch the videos if you haven't already. We've had a lot of conversations about Sanjus, about how frustrating he is as a player to follow.
Yeah, because he's someone that is really special. Like when you see him get into his, especially some of his really good knocks that usually happen at the start of an IPL or something, where he gets like a century, and it's so explosive, but it's so classy. And there's something quite KL Rahul like about him. where he gets into this state where the bowlers don't know where to bowl. But when he plays for India, that kind of just goes out the window. I don't know if it's the pressure, because I mean, as you've rightly said, there are 1.7 billion people in India.
And then now the whole comment section is triggered again.
So with 1.3, 1.4 billion people in India, let's be real, there's about 1 billion of them that are good at cricket. Yeah. So they're all vying for one of those 11 spots in that squad, and I think the pressure must be a factor, because there's no other reason why Sanju Samson can perform so well against world-class competition in a franchise setting and not in an international setting, unless it's the pressure, in my opinion. But yeah, he can't seem to hit his strides, which is sad, because I think he's really likable. And you're right, India didn't quite get where they needed to be. And West Indies made a very good go of it, didn't they? Ben, what was your opinion on sort of the top four? Because I think they really set the base, didn't they?
Well, with the exception of Shai Hope, who let himself down a little bit, although Mohammad Siraj, I think, was bowling really well. I've been impressed with Kyle Myers. Kyle Myers is the type of player who you only really see batting at like number 7 in Test match, but in ODI and T20, he's fantastic opening the bowling. Opening the batting, and normally he's a bit more useful bowling than he was in this game. But yeah, I think his knock was phenomenal. He showed how much of a good batter he is. Again, I've got bowling and batting confused. That's weird. And then Shamar Brooks and Brandon King ably supported it. I think Puran let himself down a little bit. I think he just almost went a bit too hard at it and eventually slogged, and it went to Prashant Krishna. Like, he was just trying to accelerate a bit too quickly than what he should have been doing. But then I think there was a decent end partnership by Akil Hussain and Romario Shepherd. But yeah, again, similar to the India innings, it was really spearheaded by that top order, and they're able to lay a foundation to almost pull off a fantastic chase. And I reckon, I don't know what you guys think, if Rovman Powell hadn't have got himself out and got, well, no, he was outfoxed by Chahar, wasn't he? But if Rovman Powell had been able to stay in, I wonder whether the outcome would have been very different.
Well, they still should have really won, because given the partnership they had, yes, they needed about 10 and over off those last 5 overs. But you think about a team like the West Indies, they look at that and think, oh, we can do that easy. And especially with the partnership, like, you've got Akil Hussain, who I think he's one of West India's most underrated players. He's kind of like the West Indies version of a Ravi Jadeja. He'll bowl 10 overs of spin that are quite handy and then bat well toward the end. He's obviously not as good as Ravi Jadeja, but he's the West Indies equivalent, I guess. And Romario Shepherd, who's got IPL experience, he's faced a lot of these Indian bowlers, and he batted really well. But I think Akil Hussain could have batted a bit quicker to get to that, to get them to that total. Yes, they finished 3 runs short, and India bowled very well to win it in the end for them. We like the tight games.
Last ball thrillers are a fan favourite.
Yes.
Yeah.
And although Shai Hope failed for the West Indies this time, he has currently got a century for the West Indies, and the game is, as you said, delayed by rain.
I think it's literally just resumed as we speak.
So India currently need 270 from 40 overs, but by the time we watch this video, we will have had a result. Fingers crossed.
And hopefully the title will reflect this result.
Yes.
So, Benji, maybe this is going to be on you, like a post...
a post edit.
A post edit where, right, we're going to react. Whoa, India were amazing.
Yes.
Next one, we'll cut that out and we'll say, whoa, West Indies were amazing.
Yeah, I mean, they do have a really good chase to go about it. So, 312 off 50 is nothing to be sniffed at, but they're going all right. They're at 4.2 and over so far. So they've a bit to do on the run rate, but 42 off the first 10. Great start for Shikhadan and Shutman Gill.
Money on do well.
I know, yeah. I mean, in this game though, and yeah, it's been a tale of a different story to that first game, whereas Shy Hope and Nick Prone have been the ones that have performed, as opposed to the other four in the game that's literally going on as we speak. And I haven't watched the game today at all, but just looking at the scorecard, it looks like, yeah, they put on a decent performance.
Should we
talk about England?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a bit weird.
Go on, Zach, you go.
Well, I was just going to say it's been a bit weird because it's been a similar feel to the England-India series in that England haven't batted that well. Their left-arm seamers have bowled well, and they've come up against a team who has performed exceptionally well in the first match and then quite poor in the second match. So it seems like it's a mirror. The only difference is that England's game today against South Africa was washed out, which is unfortunate. But we've seen a lot of IPL styles on show, and that's what we'd like to see. Rassie van der Dusen scoring a brilliant 100 in the first game. Quinton de Kock has had a very good innings today, despite it being a no result. David Miller and Ada Markham continuing their form in the middle overs. So South Africa have been doing awesome. And then from the England point of view, Sam Curran's bowled very well. David Willey's played very well. Moeen Ali as well, although not so much with the batting. So it's been a really good opportunity to see those players who have come from the IPL and they've come to England and they've performed really well. It's just been, I wouldn't say it's been the highest standard of cricket from both teams, in my opinion.
No, I'd agree. I think there's been some questionable batting again from England. I want to highlight Livingston. You know, he has exciting cameos, but when we haven't put up a score already, they can't be. Well, they're just not that good a lot of the time, and you know we need to see him putting up the big scores, and he can. That's the thing. Like, yeah, he's definitely got the ability. He just needs to be able to hang in there just a few more overs. And yeah, I think something that might be worth touching on just before we kind of, you know, end up wrapping up, because you know there are some good and bad points about South Africa and England, but I would like to just talk about Stokes' retirement and the kind of impact that will have, because obviously he's left with a bit of a statement saying, like, there's too much cricket scheduled, which it seems like a pretty fair thing to say. And Stokes' absence is going to have quite a huge impact on that ODI squad, I think, because the next best person really is Sam Curran, and he's a diamond in the rough. And I don't know if he'll ever reach the heights of Stokes. But yeah, Benj, what's your visceral feelings on Stokes' retirement from ODI?
Yeah, I mean, Stokes is, I don't know about what you guys think, but in my opinion, I think Stokes made his name in ODI initially as an ODI player. Like he the start of his career, that's where he sort of came in, and he had that memorable game at Melbourne at the MCG where he really cemented himself as that amazing ODI star. And the highlight of that was, again, being a key instrumental part of that 2019 World Cup winning squad. And he took that catch that we all remember. He's probably been one of the most devoted and one of the most competitive cricketers I've ever seen play. And it's just testament to the type of guy that he is. And yeah, I think it's a shame that he's made this decision to retire from ODI cricket. I mean, his recent performances weren't a lot to talk about in ODI. I think we could see that he was definitely struggling in the ODIs. I think he definitely was, not fit as he has been. And I think that was a reason why, he wasn't at his best. So yeah, of course, he'll be hugely missed in that England ODI team, especially with the absence of Owen Morgan, another, like a senior player to depart. And also, yeah, he's made those memorable performances over time anyway. But yeah, I'm sort of rambling now, but he'll be sorely missed. But I think it's good that he's able to focus on that test squad. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on it.
I just think that although he's definitely going to be missed from the England squad, you can't just say, "Oh, I'll just play the 50 over World Cup," because I think we'd want to go into that 50 over World Cup next year with Ben Stokes, ideally, but it's not going to happen. But I think part of it is due to the fact that the schedule is just too much.
I don't know. I reckon he might do a Moeen Ali and come out of retirement for the World Cup, but there you go.
But then if you look back at Kevin Peterson tried to do the same thing. He tried to just play 2020 cricket and test match cricket because he thought that one-day cricket was dead. And he wanted to play in the IPL as well, whereas Stokes didn't make it to the IPL to focus on the test matches. But yeah, I think it is showing that the schedule is too much. We've seen players like Virat Kohli not perform at the highest standards. And I think because of it, because of the schedule, players aren't able to play at their best for a extended period of time. We're not talking about a period of a few years where you play 3 or 4 matches a year like they did in the 70s and 80s. We're talking about players playing 15 plus matches a year, not including the games they're playing for the county championship and the IPL and things like that.
I think especially when he's an all-rounder as well, like a genuine all-rounder.
Yeah.
So he's batting the long innings and he's bowling, up to sort of 10, he could bowl 10 overs in an ODI, the standard bowler he is. And
also fielding in the places where he's taking the hardest catches, injuring his fingers,
yeah,
running around the boundary, injuring his hamstrings, all these things.
Yeah, and doing that on top of test match, which Ben Stokes is the kind of guy, he wants to put everything into his cricket. So you can understand it. It's sad. And I think the real criminal is the schedule. ECB and kind of international cricket in general needs to kind of look at it and think, what's going to get the highest standard, because you don't want it to be watered down at all, do you?
Yeah. Let us know your thoughts in the comments.
Yeah, that's a good place to end, actually, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, let us know your thoughts. Leave some Cricket Nerds questions. I know we've got a couple on standby, I think, but we'll do them next time. So yeah, thank you very much for all of those sent in. Please send in more Cricket Nerds questions. You can follow our social medias. We're at Cricket Nerds Pod. You can also like and subscribe.
Shall we aim for 50 likes on this video?
Why not? Why not? We're big time now. Let's aim for 50 subscribers. So yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. You can also listen to our podcasts on most of the podcasting websites. And other than that, thank you very much from all 3 of us for all your support. You're all legends. Goodbye.